Yo, what's going on, guys? Sekapoko here, bringing you another 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross video. For this video, I'll be doing a comparison video so you guys can understand the differences between Vayne Meliodas and Derieri. And one of the questions I get asked so often on the stream is, hey Sekapoko, are you pulling for Derieri? Should I save my gems for Vayne Meliodas? Should I pull on the Derieri banner? Is Derieri on Vayne banner? I don't know, blah, 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 blah. And we don't know what the global version is going to do. That's the short version. No one knows exactly what the global version is going to do. Derieri was, of course, on the Vayne Meliodas banner, as far as I remember. However, the banners are going to be much closer together this time for the global version, so I'm not quite sure if you're going to be able to pull Derieri on the Vayne Meliodas banner. So in this video, we're going to be going over a showcase and give you an idea of what to expect between the two units. If you have a limited set of resources, if you can pull for Derieri or Vayne Meliodas, and give you an idea between the two in PvP, and give you what they're good for in the future for PvE and other content. I'm going to try to give you as little advice as possible, as well as just give you the raw facts in this video so you guys can make your own decision on what you want to do with your gems. To give you some context, my Derieri does have full UR gear, and so does my Vayne Meliodas. Both of them have been really good in PvP in different ways, and you can use them in different scenarios, but I clearly think one is better, but let's go test them out in PvP and try them out and see which one you like better. Okay, a little bit further context on this. My Vayne Meliodas has a little more has cosmetic upgrades on this, but my Derieri does not, so he has a little bit more of a bump on damage, but he also has a little bit more raw attack. And then to balance that out, I'm also using a Zeldrith with only a 5/6 ulti, whereas my my Demon Meliodas has a 6/6 ulti, and he's got max super wake and everything there, so, and really good gear on him. So we're gonna see if we can get some good comparable damage. Getting with this kind of damage with the support, hopefully it'll be good. It's weird doing matches just for YouTube. It's like super weird. Alright, we got a Deri card. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and instant rush this Deri ulti real quick. And by doing the rush here, I have a 3-star card as well as a buff here. And the buff is going to make this a little bit easier. And what we'll do is, no matter what, there's going to be a revive on one of the characters here. And the problem against LV Melis is that you're always going to fight, if they ulti rush you, you're going to have to kill them twice. So, hopefully we'll be okay here. Okay. Alright, that's looking pretty good. So I think what I'll do here is we're going to go ahead and just do some raw damage here with the LV. I'm going to go ahead and ult. And then the right play is to just do a move here instead of trying to kill with the Deri. That way I get my ulti up. So we do this, bam, bam, bam. It kills the LV, the ulti, boom, big damage. But he revives. 500k damage, single target. Massive amount of damage from the Deri, as you can see. Super strong unit. So now I have a double pressure here. So because they're pressure, it's pressure from the LV as well as the Derieri. Now we can try to focus on both, and we have good options. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's see who. Okay, there's a stun over here on LV, no problem. What we'll do is we'll just finish off on Deri, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one of these right here, one of these, and then we'll do an attack seal. So big damage from Deri, boom, 110k, big damage. Not usually enough to kill, but you know, this time around, you know, it's a little easier because we have an LV chip already. All right. Now, normally, what happens on the turn 1 there is that the enemy will usually rush the Vayne Meliodas' ulti right away, and there's nothing you can do about it. But this is, we got a little lucky. It's massive damage for her. Okay, so now we got the Reflect coming out, and they're gonna, we got a stun coming out on him. Okay, no problem. We're gonna go ahead and just do an LV ulti here, just to do massive damage. I'm gonna use a Deri card, and then, gonna dump this card because I'm pretty sure they're all dead anyways. Alright, here comes LV ulti. Remember, the single target Deri did 500,000, and then boom, LV 546,000. He's gonna probably kill himself here. Boom, he dead. No big deal. And we got Deri just popping up a little bit. Alright. Alright, we're gonna lose that ulti. No big deal. Alright. So LV died just to reflect because he didn't do enough damage. Alright, let's see if we can get a little bit more damage here. Okay, so I'm going to do a double rank up onto my Dairy here. And then we're going to go ahead and just drop a buff. Boom. Alright, no more Dairy cards. That's kind of unfortunate, but it'll be fine. I think we're going to have to focus up on Gother here. Alright, so we're going to do this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and focus up on Gother and then do an attack seal. Boom. 241,000 after she started ramping. Really high damage. Super, super good. Unfortunately, she got her ulti up, but it is what it is. Probably going to ulti the Merlin, though. Oh, it's, it's bottle. We lose the ulti here. See if we can get another card here. Nope, no attack card. Alright, I'm just going to do a double rank up here, and then see if we can get a another Dairy card coming out here. Just showcasing Dairy. Big amount of stacks right now. Now, she can get ulted here, but the bot's going to automatically default to a Lotus bag. Alright, so let's go ahead and just do a quick move here. Let's just rank everybody up and do one of these. That way I can try to go for the Dairy ulti. And you can kind of see how much Dairy is going to hit for on this Merlin with the massive amount of stacks. I don't want to use this, it'll probably kill her. Alright, here comes the big Dairy ulti. Wait, no, you know what? Here, we gotta get a shield up too. So I got a shield up too, and we'll use the Dairy ulti and then one of these. So shield up for an extra buff, and then big damage. Boom! Wow, 2.24. That's cool. That's cool. So she's still a god as far as damage goes. Really fun. Does tons of damage. I'm not sure if that's like a real world scenario, but hey, it's fun. Whatever. Who cares? So between the two, you can see in that PvP test a little bit about what they can do. I prefer Vayne Meliodas personally. We didn't really get good RNG on that time around with only 2 extra cards for his ulti, and it didn't do enough damage to kill everybody on the field, but I wasn't really using what my favorite team would be with him, because of course I'm using Dairy on the same team. And with Dairy on the other side of this, of course, she had a little bit more of a stilt toward her. There was like big favorability toward her in this round, so she did look a little bit better. But you know, Dairy's fun and does a lot of damage single target. So I'm gonna let you guys decide on what you guys think is best. But I just want to give you guys a quick tidbit and what you can see in PvP, and that's alright. So I wanted to give you guys some pros and cons. I don't know if I got the whole list, but I got a good chunk of Derieri and Vayne Meliodas, where you can kind of get an idea of where they're going to be useful for the next few months, what kind of content they'd be good for, and what they're bad for. So first off, let's start with Vayne Meliodas. He's a top tier PvP unit. He's got really good lifesteal links with Zeldris or Nunchuck Bond. He's got really high stats, and both Derieri and LV have very, very similar base stats. He's good with multiple gear sets. You can run him with attack and crit damage, attack and defense, HP and defense, HP and crit damage, all of which can work well in top tier PvP. Really just depends on how you want to run him, but all of which have worked, and I've seen them all work very well in different ways. You just have a different play style. He's meta in JP for PvP for about 5+ months and good in almost every single week in PvP, which is really, really good. He's really, really good for the new guild boss that just came out to the Japanese version and is probably the best DPS unit in the game for that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it kind of just seems to be that way. He can also clear, I believe, Tower Trials 1 and 3. I believe he can do Tower Trials Season number 2 as well. I didn't actually check, but I'm fairly certain based on the bosses that he could. It didn't really seem too difficult to do it with LV Meli, but it did seem like it's something that you didn't need to do as well. Esterosa was kind of like the primo unit for that one anyways. And then he's really good for story mode. Like he does his content very, very easily. New content comes out, it's very, very easy to him. Some of the cons with LV Meli is he's very, very mediocre in raids. He does do well. You can actually do okay damage with him. He's nothing like big. He's not even as good as like Red Escanor or possibly Red Demon Meliodas on raids because of the nature of his cards in his set. He's really bad for guild bosses season 1 and 2 as well. He doesn't really do anything there. He also gets countered by Goddess Liz, and you know he's a demon race character. So since he's a demon race character, he's always going to be having a little bit tougher of a time against anybody who wants to counter demon race characters, like the most recent Tower of Trials which I just completed, but they are final bosses and stuff like that, so there's a big problem there. Final bosses also do extra damage to demons a lot of the time. Final boss Bond does extra damage to demons. The most recent one before that did the extra damage with final boss Merlin. There's a ton of different ways that this can be countered, so because you see his demon race, and he's only attainable in festival coin banners, so that's another big con that he has. He's only available, he's been available 2 times. The first was on his own banner for the Lost Vayne Meliodas banner, and the second time was for the Goddess Liz banner. So that's a big issue with festival coin units, is they're only attainable on those kinds of banners, but you know it may not affect your reason for pulling him or not. For Derieri, she's a top tier PvP unit. She's really, really fun. She's good in both geared PvP, gearless PvP, just like Meliodas is good in both. I forgot to turn her alerts off again. Uses an attack link, which is really, really nice. You can actually get Demon Meliodas as an attack link for her, so she can get the maximum amount of damage out of that. I think I've seen Derieri's as almost 17,000 attack if you get with all said and done, the attack food, etc. I think mine gets about 16,800 or something like that. It's really, really good. So she does very, very well with the attack link. She has actually the exact same stats as Lost Vayne Meliodas starting out. So cosmetic upgrades and gear upgrades really just kind of like tweak that a little bit to see exactly where you end up. She does have a little bit harder of a time getting all her gear set leveled up though, if I want to be fair about that for cosmetic upgrades, because she has a lot more SSR cosmetics versus LV having a lot more UR cosmetics. She stays relevant in JP meta and for PvP for about 2 to 3 months, and she's pretty decent in the new 3v3 game mode, so you can use her there as well. I would say that LV definitely outstrips her as far as an overall PvP unit in the meta, but you know she's definitely still usable currently in PvP. Good. She's really, really good for the first 2 seasons of Guild Boss for Einik as well as Kelek. Both of them, she's very, very strong. She's probably the best DPS unit in the game for both of them. Well, not probably, she is. And she gives you the max scores for both of them. So if you're looking for a long-term PvE unit that does tons of damage, it's really good for that. She's typically really good just in all high damage situations. She can also clear Tower of Trials Season 1. I'm unclear if she can do 2 and 3. I'm not unclear. I've not seen anybody do it yet, but I haven't searched all of YouTube, so what do you do? She's really, really good for story mode, insanely good for starting out, very good character in general. She's also the best DPS in the entire game for Hell Crimson, so it's very, very good and strong for that. I use her all the time. The highest damage I've ever seen her hit on Hell Crimson personally is like almost 4 million. I hit about 3.9 million the other day. I'm pretty sure we get a little bit higher than that on Hell Crimson, but the problem is, of course, you can only be red units, so it's a little bit harder. I think with the new Camilla, I could probably get to about 4.3 or something like that, maybe a little bit higher than that. I'd have to do some tweaking, maybe some cosmetic upgrades to see how high I can get, but there may be some people that even hit way, way higher than that. I just haven't fully worked on my Deri for cosmetic upgrades because it's very expensive. She's also the best DPS in the entire game for Final Boss Meliodas and Liz, which is the upcoming Final Boss coming to the global version. So if you're looking for the best DPS for that, that's going to be a very good unit for it. She's also available on numerous banners, so you can get her on tons of different banners. She's going to be on the Part 2 banner. She was definitely on the, I believe she was on the Lost Vayne Meliodas banner on the Japanese version. When we checked, she was on the thing for the 6-month anniversary. She was also available on the Goddess Elizabeth banner. She was available on the Demon Race banner, and she's available on any Part 2 ticket summons you want to do as well. So there's a ton of different ways to get Derieri. She's also available on coin shop banners at times when there's the green and the red Derieri on there as well. So she's on so many different banners that you may not need to pull on her a lot. So it's just a really good unit that you can have access to in other ways. It's a very big positive for the unit. Cons for Derieri, she's really bad for the newest season of Guild Boss, for Guild Boss Season 3, because it's more of an area effect damage fight, and trying to do single damage effects on this fight is a little bit harder to get max damage. It is possible to use Deri. I've seen people use Derieri and manipulate the boss in a way that they could use Derieri, but it wasn't really the most effective strategy in my opinion, and definitely did not yield the best amount of points, but you could do it. I'm not, as I said, I'm not sure if she can clear the 2nd and 3rd seasons of Tower of Trials. I haven't seen it yet. Tower of Trials Season 3 has not been out that long, and I didn't actually search all of the internet for Season 2. for Derieri. She gets very, very heavily countered by the taunt and revive mechanics that come out. So as far as big mechanics that gets countered, that's for a counter for Derieri. There are certain mechanics that have like reflect, like the new Droll that has like a the new Fraudrin that has like really can heavily counter her. Where if you kill the Fraudrin, then the entire enemy team gets an ultimate. So she has a big issue with fighting that, because she always has to use a card. So I should probably use that too. Has to use a card every turn. That's a big con. If you don't use a card every turn, you lose your passive stacks. So that's a big negative. She's of course a demon race character, so the same problem as Vayne Meli, but that have to use a card every turn is very annoying, and you can lose all of your stacks all at once. So it becomes a little bit more of an RNG fest with this unit. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. I just want to give you guys an insight into both units to see where they are right now in the Japanese version, where they have been, what you guys can expect from them, what you guys have seen, what we've seen, and what you could possibly get in the future. But my name is Sekapoko. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, of course, like and subscribe, all the fun stuff, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.